What if the button that ends the world isn't a nuclear launch code held by a president, but a line of code being written right now by a 20-something in San Francisco? They told you AI is about better search engines. They told you it's about writing emails or making funny images. That is a malicious lie designed to keep you blind to the single greatest consolidation of power in human history. Look at this document. Burn this image into your retinas. Within the next 15 minutes, I'm going to prove to you that the Manhattan Project isn't history. It's happening right now. They aren't building a tool. They are building a weapon, and you are not the user. You are the target. Let's look at the story they're feeding you. The official narrative. It goes like this. Tech companies are in a friendly capitalist race to build AGI, artificial general intelligence. It's the free market at work. Sure, there are safety concerns. Maybe some jobs will change, but ultimately, it's about democratizing intelligence. Democratizing? Please. Here is the smoking gun. It dropped in June 2024, a 165-page manifesto written by Leopold Aschenbrenner. He's not some rando on Reddit. He was a top researcher on the superalignment team at OpenAI until he was fired for, quote, leaking. This paper, titled Situational Awareness, is the blueprint. It explicitly predicts that by 2027, we will have AGI. But here's the part the nightly news ignores. It calls for the project, an industrial mobilization of the US economy that makes the Apollo program look like a high school science fair. He outlines a plan where the US government inevitably steps in, seizes control of the labs, and militarizes the algorithms. Why? Because the intelligence explosion is too powerful for civilians to own. This is where their facade cracks. You think Microsoft and Google are building these data centers for you? For your Copilot subscription? No. They are building the infrastructure for the national security state. The true term for this operation isn't ChatGPT, it isn't Gemini. The term they use in the dark corners of the Pentagon is the Securitization of Intelligence. They aren't just locking down the weights and biases of the models. They are preparing to lock down the researchers. They are preparing to classify the mathematics itself. Imagine a world where knowing how to multiply matrices in a specific way is a federal crime. That is what they are asking for. And they are doing it under the guise of safety. They tell you, oh, we need to pause AI development because it might be racist or give you bad advice. That is a distraction. They don't want to pause it. They want to monopolize it. The Aschenbrenner document reveals that the jump from GPT-4 to AGI isn't decades away. It is an order of magnitude game. More compute, more energy, more data. We are looking at a 100 times increase in cluster size by 2027. We are talking about $1 trillion cluster. Where does that money come from? Not from subscriptions. It comes from the printing press of the Federal Reserve and the black budget of the Defense Department. This isn't just about technological advancement. It's about a fundamental shift in global power dynamics, orchestrated by those who seek to control the very fabric of intelligence. Let's stack the evidence, because once you see the mechanism, you can't unsee it. Evidence point 1, Project Stargate. You heard the rumors. Microsoft and OpenAI planning a $100 billion supercomputer named Stargate. But that's just the surface. What I'm about to show you ties this directly to the original atomic age. You won't believe the connections. First, hit the like button if you think the news lies to you every day. Seriously, hit it. It helps us bypass the algorithm that tries to bury this video. Okay, back to Stargate. A $100 billion computer requires 5 gigawatts of power. Do you know how much 5 gigawatts is? That is the power consumption of New York City. They are talking about building nuclear reactors exclusively to feed a machine. While they tell you to turn down your AC to save the planet, they are preparing to boil the oceans to cool a digital god. Evidence point 2, the CCP Bogeyman. Every great conspiracy needs a great enemy. For the original Manhattan Project, it was the Nazis. For the Cold War, the Soviets. Now, it's the CCP. Aschenbrenner and the DC Hawks argue that if we don't build AGI first, China will. They claim that the OpenAI labs are porous, that Chinese spies are stealing the weights. Is this true? Maybe. But look at the solution they propose. They don't just want better firewalls. They want to turn the AI labs into SCIFs. They want military vetting for coders. They want the state to encircle the industry. This is the classic problem-reaction-solution dialectic. Problem: China might get AGI. Reaction: fear and panic. Solution: total government control over the most powerful technology ever invented. They did it with the internet. It started as ARPANET, military comms for nuclear war survival. Then they let you play on it, but they kept the backdoor keys. They did it with GPS. It started as a way to guide missiles. They let you use it to find Starbucks, but they can switch it off or degrade the signal whenever they want. And now they're doing it with artificial intelligence. The thread tying them all together is dual-use technology. They build it with your tax dollars under the guise of defense, release a watered-down version to keep you docile and entertained, while they keep the God mode version for themselves. The goal isn't just superintelligence. The goal is what Aschenbrenner calls the decisive strategic advantage. Whoever gets to AGI first doesn't just win a market share, they win the world. They can break every encryption code, design new bioweapons in hours, and automate cyber warfare on a scale you can't comprehend. Do you really think they're going to let Sam Altman control that? No. The boardroom drama at OpenAI? That was just the warm-up act. The real hostile takeover will be by the Department of Defense. We are witnessing the merger of big tech and the deep state. The revolving door is spinning so fast it's creating a tornado. You have former NSA directors sitting on the boards of these companies. You have the DHS safety boards staffing up with people who have never written a line of code but know exactly how to topple a regime. So why does this matter to you? You're just a guy trying to pay rent, right? Because when the project goes live, the economy as you know it ceases to exist. If the government nationalizes AGI, they nationalize the means of thought. They are discussing, openly, the idea of compute rationing. Imagine a future where you have a limit on how much thinking your computer is allowed to do, where running a private, uncensored AI model is treated like possessing enriched uranium. They want a world where the only intelligence allowed to exist is the one that has been lobotomized, sanitized, and aligned with state interests. And let's talk about the timeline. 2027, that's 3 years away. Most people are planning their next vacation. The elites are planning for a post-human economy. When the intelligence explosion happens, things will move too fast for democracy. They will say, there is no time for a vote, there is no time for debate. The algorithm says we must do X to stay safe. They are building an oracle that only they can consult, a digital high priest that justifies their control. We have to lock down your bank account, citizen. The superintelligence predicted you were a threat. How do you argue with a machine that is 1 billion times smarter than you? You can't. That is the point. Remember this image I showed you at the start? I asked if the button that ends the world was a line of code. This is the cover of Situational Awareness, but look closer at the subtext. It describes a gray period of high volatility before the lockdown. We are in that period right now. This is the calm before the singularity. The Manhattan Project for AI isn't about saving humanity. It's about ensuring that when the new God arrives, it wears a badge and answers to a clearance level you will never possess. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this so you stop looking at AI as a toy. It is the battlefield. They are building a cage for your mind, and they are asking you to help pay for the construction. If you refuse to be a passive NPC in their simulation, you need to arm yourself with knowledge. Share this video, not for the clicks, but because the algorithm hates this topic. Comment below, I see the strings. Subscribe to the channel. Join the resistance. We are watching them, and now you are too.